It is time to get the suffer on. You definitely want to bring warm clothes with you just in case something happens. So normally when I go fat biking, I would wear this helmet, which has this light. I just kind of rigged it up on the helmet with a bunch of zip ties. The lamp was like $30, but it works super well. It's super bright, but it's only about 2:30 and we've got 2 hours before the sun sets. So we do not need to wear that helmet, but we will take fat bike light. We've got the pogies on this, basically bar mitts, and these things are amazing. You can wear your regular bike gloves and you don't freeze to death. It's been a little while since I've done this loop, but I think I remember where to go. I do like fat biking. It's the same suffering you get when you go summer biking, but you're colder. If you don't like suffering, fat biking isn't for you. So in this video, we'll take time to talk about, is fat biking worth it? Should you save money and buy a fat bike? Good old Boundary Ridge. I find it's a lot of fun to get out there and ride trails in the winter. It's a completely different sport. You have to get comfortable with losing traction. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because being cold is a reality. You don't want to layer up too much and start sweating. Turning the cranks on this fat bike is a lot harder than riding your summer bike. Tires way more rolling resistance, but it's a great way to keep your cardio up. You don't want to go into spring having lost all the cardio foundation you built all summer. Conditions are perfect today. Traction is tougher, even with studs. So I got myself the Rockymountain Blizzard 820, and it's an awesome bike. Super modern for its geometry. It's almost got like the same head tube angle as my downhill bike. It's got a Dior drivetrain, 12-speed, hydraulic brakes. It's way more bike than I think I'd ever need out here. The only thing it doesn't have is a dropper, which would be nice. It just so happens that the dropper on my regular full suspension bike will fit this bike, and I'm thinking about switching it over. As much as you don't need a dropper, if you're getting rowdy, it certainly feels better. The speed of fat biking is a little bit more relaxed and slow. It's not really about smashing all the trails the same way you would in summertime. You're not really doing big jumps and big drops. You're kind of just out for a pretty chill ride, enjoying some speed, but maybe a little bit more control on the brakes. I definitely don't want to crash my bike and be injured in the cold. It's the right kind of weather that feels like you could be outside all day. It's currently 20 degrees Fahrenheit, around -6, -7 Celsius. It's mostly just grays and blacks and whites. Just such a cool contrast. So how much do you need to spend on a fat bike? It really depends on where you're riding. If you're sticking mostly to paths and trails in the city, places close to home, nothing with a bunch of elevation, you can get away with those Costco Northrock fat bikes. My first fat bike is actually a Costco Northrock, and that thing is awesome. When the conditions are good, like they are today, the snow is packed, yeah, you'll still lose traction a little bit more than you would with this bike, but that's just because the tires suck. If you got the Costco fat bike and upgraded the tires, you'll have no issues. Those Costco fat bikes are just great. You can usually find them used online for somewhere in the neighborhood of $250, $300. You do not have to be a big spender to get out and enjoy the winter fat biking season. Although again, if you are looking at that Costco fat bike, I would recommend that you change the tires, but don't go wider than 4 inches. 4 inches on that bike is perfect. Get some tires that you can either stud or that have big knobs in them. I have one, and it's my second fat bike. Let the girlfriend use that around town. Super nice bike, and it'll get you where you want to go. The newer ones have a Q's drivetrain. The older ones have a Dior. Either way, you're gonna get out and have a great time. Now this fat bike, the Rockymountain Blizzard 820, I picked this up last year around Christmas. They were having a blowout sale. I think they just over manufactured them. I picked this bike up for $1,200 plus tax, and then bought the studs from Amazon for another $100. What do you get for $1,200 for this Rockymountain Blizzard that you don't get with the Costco bike? Well, one, the Costco bike is a little bit more of a cross-country style. And what that means is it's not as capable on the downhill part. The way the frame is built is not so modern. The tires are less good, they'll need to be replaced. The brakes are mechanical, not hydraulic, which can be okay. The drivetrain is obviously less good, but the main difference between that bike and this bike is the Costco Northrock bikes. Nothing is standard on them. There's no standard spacing for the forks or for the frame. So if you destroy your wheel, you have to find a hard to find hub, and none of the rims are standard. Just more annoying to repair if something goes wrong. Hey guys, just me. Have a fun day. Hey, you might not expect that something would go wrong with your bike, because a crash when it's snowy is pretty chill. You're not really getting hurt too much. But one of the main issues with the fat bike is that it lives its time in the cold and wet. And if you're putting it behind your vehicle on one of those tray style racks or whatever, it's going to see a lot of road grime too. Oftentimes that road grime is salt. And that salt and the wet, they are going to combine together to ruin your bike. That's why it's nice to have standard size everything. So when something goes wrong, it's easy to replace. You definitely want to get these pogies or bar mitt covers. I'm just wearing regular bike mitts and I've got no issue at all. Most of the time my hands are too warm. So just like regular bikes, you get what you pay for with the fat bike, but you don't need to pay too much if you just want to get out and ride mellow trails. Even this is not too much for the Northrock. I've taken that Northrock out here plenty of times. So is getting a fat bike worth it? Is it worth it to spend $200, $300, $1,000, $1,500? Phew. Well, I think the answer to that question is, how much do you ride your summer bike? If you bought yourself a nice full suspension or hard to use hardtail and you get out there and you're riding that thing once or twice a week and you really find yourself enjoying it, then I would say it's worth it to get a fat bike. If you're a type of person who rarely rides, you don't like being uncomfortable, but you want to have good cardio, it's a tougher sell. It is great for your cardio. It will help keep you in summer shape all year long, but it's hard to imagine being uncomfortable to get your cardio. A really good idea is to go out and rent a fat bike, see how she feels. I'm such a dummy, I forgot my water. But it's winter, so you're not going to be a sweaty, gassed out mess the whole time. And this is only about a 10K ride. That's one thing I find that's kind of interesting about fat biking. A 10K ride has the same feel as a 15 or 16K ride in the summer, because it does take more energy to gas your way up hills, and you have to pay a little bit more attention to what you're doing. So it requires a bit more focus. So one cool thing is if you're techie, you can install a Bafang mid-drive motor on this and set it up as a single speed bike, and that thing will go for miles. There's tons of cool places to adventure to out here, and so many of them are closed in the winter. If you want to access them, having an electric fat bike doesn't hurt. Now, I find this bike takes a little while to get used to on the knees, because the tires are wider, the crank arms are further apart. So your feet are further apart when you're pedaling. And I find that it can bother your knees a little bit. Got a 30 tooth on the chain ring here, and I feel like I want to go down to a 26. Oh yeah, power. So let's take a little walk around the bike while we take a breath break here. It's pretty quiet today. Now these are just Amazon quality pogies or bar mitts, but they're awesome. I got them for 40 bucks on Black Friday sale. And it's way nicer to wear your regular bike gloves inside of these things than to wear big mitts or big gloves. These things will keep your hands warm and you have the dexterity of bike gloves. These are the Cake Eater tires. Hard to see, but there's some studs in all of these tires. Just be careful with the studs. They will scratch up your floor and they will scratch up your truck paint if you get them on there. Just regular cheap Amazon pedals. Forgot my water bottle because I'm a big genius. Single piston brakes, but they are hydraulic. Pretty nice quality too. I've never wanted for more brakes. Race face components, bottom bracket and cranks. Overall, just an amazing bike. Again, the only thing that I'd like to change is to put a dropper on it. I bought this little cheesy bike bag from Decathlon. It's a good place to keep extra gloves, or, depending on how the wind is, a set of safety glasses. Now, something I never leave the house without is a bike light. I usually have a bike light on my helmet and one on my handlebars. And the reason for that is, usually fat biking starts off around sunset. And out here, especially in Alberta, Canada, it gets pretty dark pretty early. Today it's going to be sunset at 4:30. Now, it's pretty early today too. Playing hooky, it's Friday. So I don't really need to worry about it being super dark. That's why I just have my handlebar light. That thing's bright enough. It'll let you get yourself home, even if it's pitch black. But the helmet light, oh my, that thing makes such a difference. You can see where you're aiming your head. Now, it does feel otherworldly to ride a bike in the woods at dark. Now, this snow is a bit sugary. And if you have mashed potato snow, or if you have loose sugar snow, it is tough to maintain traction. You start falling into a rut, and you will fall. But the good thing is you're falling on snow. You're not falling on rocks and roots and hard dirt. So do you really need a fat bike, or can you ride out here with a summer bike and studded tires? And the answer is, a lot of places you can get away with riding your summer bike with studded tires, or even just without. Kind of depends on the riding you're doing. If it's fresh snow or loose snow, forget about it. You are not getting out on your summer bike. It doesn't matter what kind of tires you put on it. You'll be all over the place. Even if you have 27.5 plus tires, they're just not fat enough to float. Even 4-inch tires, it's a little tougher to ride. Now, there is no shame in hike a bike. And don't let anybody make fun of you for needing to hike a bike sometimes. Yeah, so having 27.5 tires on this fat bike, and they're 4.5 inches wide, makes it a lot easier to float over loose snow and to maintain good traction when it's slippery out. The studs don't really help in these kind of conditions, but they're useful when you hit death ice. Now, a lot of places that you go biking have regulations about how wide your tires need to be. And out here, because they groom the trails, anything less than 4 inches is not allowed. They say 3.8, but I've never seen a bike with 3.8 inch tires. I'd feel a lot better if I had a dropper here. Saw a bear here this summer with my girlfriend. We were just regular biking right here. There's a bear up in the woods. You need to have tires that are wide enough so that you're not suffering, and also so that you're not ruining the trail for everyone else. If your tires are too skinny, you're gonna rut up the groomed trail and make it annoying for everyone else to ride. Also, on the theme of these tires, you're gonna wanna go super low PSI. Normally on my summer bike, my PSI is like 23, but on the winter bike, you're at like 3 PSI. Sometimes you can feel your rim bouncing off a root. The more squish, the more float, the more traction. Now you also want to make sure that you're ready for losing and replacing studs. They are not cheap, but if you're running them, you're going to lose them. You'll lose a couple every ride. So always order an extra 100 of them so you can be ready to replace them when they fall off. Do you need a fat bike to get out? If you're just riding paved trails and your area doesn't get a lot of snow, stick with your regular bike. Fat bike is miserable to ride on anything but snow. If you live in a place where you've got lots of great bike trails and you get a bunch of snow and you're out there riding them every week and you say to yourself, you know what, I want to keep this party going, well, get out there and get you a fat bike. Rent one, try it out. You're going to hate it at first because you're going to slip and slide and fall. But once you get used to it and you figure out how to do it better, it's so much fun. There's people out there that get pretty rowdy on these things. But if you can snag a deal, if you can find one of these used for $1,000 or less, that's an instant buy if you like riding bikes. Imagine you could just keep the party going 12 months a year. Oh yeah. If you are gonna night bike, or if you're gonna fat bike, you're always gonna end up being out at night. Having a good bar flashlight is really important. This one, quick releases. It's pretty bright. I don't know how many lumens it is. Just look on Amazon, you'll find something decent. And it came with one of these that will mount to a GoPro mount. So you can quick release and quick install, and you can also pop it on your helmet. It's nice to have, even if you're just on your summer bike and you're going out late, you could just throw one of those buckle mounts on your helmet and attach the flashlight. If you double click, you get full power. For fat biking, you definitely want to get a really good butt pad because there's no suspension, just what you get from the tires. And it can beat your undercarriage up a little bit. So fun. Just feel like you're riding your summer bike, slightly slower. And by slightly, I mean a lot, but whatever. Yeah, it's just too much fun. Like, imagine not doing this for 6 months or however many months winter is where you live. It just keeps your mood up. Keeps that depression away.